Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, packed house as the Colts play host to the Baltimore Ravens. Indianapolis has won the toss and they will receive. As you look at Ravens head coach John Harbaugh and head coach Jim Caldwell celebrating his 55th birthday tonight. In his first season, Joe Flacco, happy birthday to him. Number 25, the starting quarterback for the Ravens. And Peyton Manning, who will get his hands on the football first. That is Chad Simpson. Set to receive the kick. He has returned one kick for a touchdown, 93 yards against Jacksonville. Billy Cundiff set to kick it away, and we are underway in Indy. Simpson, 5 yards deep in the end zone, will not run it out. He will start from his own 20-yard line. The winner gets a berth in the AFC Championship game. From the shotgun, the fake to a dive. Manning throwing over the middle. Got his man across the 40-yard line. Complete to Austin Collie and a first down.
Well, right off the bat, Peyton Manning gets outstanding pass protection because this is a deep pattern. Take a look, Charlie Johnson there on the left runs Terrell Suggs out of there. Peyton steps into it. He had two competing patterns at the same length downfield. Dallas Clark was there as well. What a confidence builder to start off with a strike like that.
20-yard pickup, first down at the Indianapolis 40. The give is to a dive. A dive doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 11. Manning with time, crossing over the middle is the tight end, Dallas Clark, and that's complete.
When Suggs plays for the Ravens, their confidence level skyrockets. Ray Lewis called him the equivalent of a shutdown corner. He closes off that side of the defense.
On 3rd and 2, the up back is Mike Hart. He's across midfield and into Baltimore territory for a first down at the 48.
Now, we spent the day out at the Colts complex a couple days ago, and it has been a long time since I've been around a football team that was as anxious to play a football game as Jim Caldwell's group. The players were unhappy the way the season ended. They're appreciative of being rested and healthy, but wow, were they anxious to get on the field and get this thing kicked off.
Jim Caldwell said they turned the clock back a bit, went back to fundamentals, put the pads on. First down from the Ravens 48. Manning throwing a short pass and eluding the tackle is Garcon, and Garcon to the 40. About 2 yards short of a first down.
It has been fun to watch Pierre Garcon develop into a real National Football League player. And again, you see that perfect blitz pickup. They came in both A gaps. You see Johnson picked up, Ray Lewis picked up, Ellerbe picked up. Nice job by the guys in blue.
Manning throwing outside, and that is complete to Pierre Garcon, a young man playing with a heavy heart, as many of his friends and relatives.
Boy, the crowd wants a flag for a hit out of bounds.
Many of his friends and relatives on the island of Haiti. That was good for a first down.
Right here, the end of it, yeah, that's what the crowd, you see there, Dewan Landry gets a left hand right into the face mask, right into the grill of Garcon.
A dive, turning the corner to about the 26.
Well, at first it didn't look like Joseph Adai was going to be able to get to the edge. Ryan Deem, the big tackle out in front. You see Dallas Clark with a good pin block to the inside, and if it wasn't for the hustle of Justin Bannon, a defensive lineman who ran a long way to make that tackle, that had gone for even more.
Donald Brown, the rookie from Connecticut, making his first appearance of the night in the backfield behind Manning on 2nd and 3. Manning will throw the short pop over the middle, and that is incomplete.
When Ray Lewis and Dallas Clark had quite a collision, and Clark was a little slow getting up. He just finally gets to his feet. Peyton's looking at him all the way. This is just the old, that used to be a popular pattern for tight ends back in the 60s. And Ray Lewis, look how quickly he read that, got there the exact instant the ball did.
3rd and 3. Play clock to 2, to 1. They just barely get it off, and the short pass is incomplete inside the 25-yard line.
Well, and
as Manning threw into a crowd.
Well, yeah, that's total confusion there. Garcon and Donald Brown were both in the same place. So, of course, they brought their defenders with them. One of them was in the incorrect place. You can see right there, Donald Brown comes back to where Garcon is setting up shop. It looked to me like Brown should have kept going to the outside and get a little separation and give Garcon a little more room.
Here is Matt Stover, the Ravens' all-time leading scorer, with the field goal attempt on the way, and good. 10-play drive, 54 yards, resulting in the Stover 44-yard field goal, and Peyton Manning completed his first 4 passes before missing on his last 2. Ray Lewis takes a breather on the side. Pat McAfee getting set to kick it away. Jalen Parmalee is deep. The Ravens, the #1 team in the NFL, kick return average just over 26 yards in return. And he will run this one out of the end zone. Lots of running room on the far side. Penalty markers are down. Parmalee to midfield. Still going. Finally dropped close to the 40-yard line. And now let's check the penalty.
Return. Illegal block in the back. Number 84 of the return team. Acquisitions to the goal. First down.
The illegal block in the back call against the Ravens. L.J. Smith wiped out what would have been a 64-yard return. And Joe Flacco and the Ravens begin at their own 6-yard line. Make it the 7. Ray Rice. Looking for running room, may have gotten a yard, no more.
Of course, when you run the ball 52 times, Joe Flacco didn't have to do a great deal other than hand off to Ray Rice.
Flacco pumps, throws to the outside, and wide open on the far side of the field is Derek Mason. And that's enough for a first down. First down, Baltimore at the 24. And around. Here comes Mark Clayton. Clayton across the 30 and dropped at the 32-yard line.
Boy, good-looking play and a nice mix so far by Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator, of giving the Colts a look at just about everything. Nice play action. And then pretty nice all the way. You see the seal block there by Matt Burke, the center. And that was close to becoming a really big play. There's Cam Cameron in his 2nd year. A little bit of everything here just in their opening series.
2nd and 2. The give to the up back, LaRon McClain. And McClain to the 35 for a first down. Flacco throws this side, and that is complete to Derek Mason, his 2nd catch of the night. And that's enough for another Baltimore first down.
Well, they're taking the game right to the 2 corners for the Colts. Before they took advantage of the rookie Gerard Powers on the other side. Now they come back to their offensive right, and this is Kelvin Hayden, who's giving a lot of cushion.
The line of scrimmage, the Ravens 47. Flacco. Nice pickoff by Rice, and then Rice is decked at the line of scrimmage. The middle linebacker, Gary Brackett, who promised us he'd keep his eye on Ray Rice all night long.
Well, he's a fellow Rutgers guy and has a lot of respect for Ray Rice, but this is how you take care of an open field tackle. You fight off the block of Ben Grubbs. Beautiful catch by Rice on a high throw, but look at this. That is how you square up and drive through who was then a ball carrier, Ray Rice. Beautiful job by Gary Brackett.
2nd and 10. Rice to midfield. A pick up of 3. We were talking with Ray Rice about those pass-catching abilities, and he said he's caught more passes this season than he did in his entire college career at Rutgers.
It's just not every day you see a running back who is the leading rusher and the leading receiver. That is quite a workload for Ray Rice during the season. 254 carries and 78 receptions. That is an awful lot of touches.
More catches than any other running back in the NFL this season. 3rd and 7. Penalty markers down. That pass falls incomplete. It looks like the Colts' Robert Mathis may have jumped.
You might be right. It looked like he got a superb jump on the ball, and it might have been a little too good.
Offside, number 93, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
They said Dwight Freeney, but I believe it was Robert Mathis.
Yeah, I certainly thought it was Mathis. Let's take a look at it and see if we can figure out. This is Mathis right here. He's on the near side. That was razor thin.
A 3rd and 2. Indianapolis' 3rd down defense, 31st in the NFL, 2nd worst. But look at the record they put up. Meanwhile, that pass is complete to Derek Mason.
Well, Derek Mason had a big game against the Colts earlier, and they were concerned about their ability to cover the old guy. And this time, Kelvin Hayden never turns around, and it doesn't have any idea where the ball is. Hayden is just playing Mason and never got turned around and had no idea the ball was right on top of him. Mason adjusted. He did not.
Red zone visit for the Ravens. Rice looking for running room. Gets a couple to the 16-yard line.
I think a lot of people, Greg, thought that the Ravens were just going to come in here and just try to do what they did to New England. Just run, run, run. And I think John Harbaugh knew that they weren't going to win this game without putting the football into the hands of Joe Flacco. And look at this nice mix right here. 5 rushes, 4 passes. But here they are in the red zone. And Harbaugh told us, we talked about it at the top of the show, we can't settle for field goals here.
On 2nd and 8, here's Rice again, running room. To the 10, and about 2 yards short of a 1st down. Melvin Bullitt making the stop.
Well, those of us of a certain age, we look at Ray Rice and we see a lot of similarities with Emmitt Smith. His compact stature, and Ray Rice says that is just fine with him. He watches cut-ups of Emmitt Smith all during the offseason, really tries to pattern himself after the great Cowboys star.
11th play of this 83-yard drive. 3rd and 2. Flacco keeps it straight ahead and has the 1st down.
Well, there's a quarterback sneak if it's being run by Doug Flutie. No offense, Doug. But then there's a quarterback sneak being run by a guy who's 6'6", 240 pounds. Quarterbacks today are big, big guys, and the quarterback sneak carries a little more meaning when you got a sizable athlete like that just trying to pick up a foot or so.
Willis McGahee is now into the backfield. McGahee shakes a tackler and fights his way to about the 6, where Antonio Johnson makes the stop.
Boy, did Dwight Freeney get upfield on that. He disrupted that play to the point where McGahee was lucky to get back anywhere near the line of scrimmage. Look at Freeney get all the way up. He goes through 2 Ravens, goes through the tight end, goes through the fullback. Willis McGahee never had a chance.
2nd and goal. Flacco throws out here, in and out of the hands of LaRon McClain. Elected to his first Pro Bowl this year. Wishes he had that one back.
Oh, that is an unhappy head coach right now. LaRon McClain is a good receiver. He's got good hands. This is unusual for him to drop something like that, especially a perfect pass from Flacco.
3rd and goal from the 6. Rice back into the lineup.
The cluster formation here on the near side.
Flacco throws, almost picked off at the goal line. It falls incomplete. Antoine Buffet had visions of about a 99-yard return.
Well, I know they don't want to settle for field goals, but right now the Ravens are fortunate to be able in that position, because that just speared Antoine Buffet right in the 4 of his 4-1. Oh, and look at Joe Flacco. There is a guy who knows what an enormous play that could have been going the other way.
Billy Cundiff from 25 yards out. High snap. It is put down, and it is good. Sam Cook, the holder, with a nice play to grab the high snap. The Ravens put together an 87-yard, 15-play drive. And we have a 3-3 tie, and Joe Flacco has already thrown for 55 yards. He threw for all of 34 in the win over New England a week ago. Number 18 ready and waiting. Chad Simpson is deep for the Colts. From the goal line. And he is buried short of the 15-yard line. 3-3 tie, 2:51 to play in the first quarter. Manning and the Colts from their own 14. Fake to a dive, pass up the seam, complete to Dallas Clark across the 30 and a first down.
Well, that time Ellerbe had the misfortune of being a linebacker and trying to run man-to-man with Dallas Clark. And the problem is, this is really not bad coverage by Ellerbe. He's right on him, but the ball from Manning could not have been any more precise in its delivery. Right onto the hands of Dallas Clark.
On first down, straight ahead, a die across the 35 to about the 36 or 37-yard line.
The Colts are the worst rushing team in the NFL. They're dead last statistically. They run just enough to set up play action for Peyton.
Manning throws off the hands of Clark and off the hands of the defender, number 26, DeJuan Landry, too.
Well, Dallas is unhappy that he didn't snare that, but I think Peyton is unhappy that he threw it as high as he did. That one kind of floated a little bit on Manning.
Well, every single Raven we talk to, Dan, preached patience on defense, not to try not to commit too early on Manning.
Well, the veterans have said we're finally used to it. We used to spend a lot of energy pre-snap worrying about when he was going to snap.
Here comes the blitz. Manning gets rid of it. Crossing pattern is complete to the 45-yard line. Austin Collie has it for a Colts first down. What a rookie season he has had.
And it's just a demonstration that it doesn't matter if you're a seasoned veteran like Reggie Wayne or a rookie like Austin Collie. If you're the guy that the coverage is going to say that you're the open guy, Peyton Manning throws you the football. Joseph Adai underneath made a stab at that ball. That would have been a mistake.
Adai to about the 48. And we are inside of 1 minute to play here in a brisk first quarter.
Neither Joseph Adai nor Donald Brown, the other primary ball carrier, averages 4 yards a carry. Adai at 3.8, Brown at 3.6. Yet they will run it enough to keep you honest. They don't run it any more than that, but just enough. So you have to honor it. But this is Peyton Manning's football team on his right arm.
On 2nd and 7. Incomplete, intended for Collins. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Oh, great coverage by Chris Carr. That was tight coverage. The Ravens have had all sorts of problems at cornerback. But look at that. That's a good reversal by Collie, and Carr had none of it. Broke down, planted, and reversed direction exactly the same time the receiver did.
3rd and 7. Manning under pressure throws this side, and that is complete to midfield and out of bounds Dallas Clark. But that is going to be 5 yards shy of a first down.
Well, that was a good series by the Ravens. Anytime you force a punt, well done.
We come to the end of the first quarter. The Baltimore defense with another job well done against Manning and the Colt offense. That is Chris Carr at his own 10-yard line for the kick coming from McAfee. Fair catch. Called for and made at the 9-yard line. Baltimore's first drive began at their own 7. They start from their own 9, and this is Rice out to about the 15-yard line.
Well, if they have a drive here that in any shape, manner, or form approaches what they did last time, they would have reason to be pleased. Miserable field position on the first series. They converted it into a field goal. Not the way you'd like to play, looking at that much green to the other goal line.
Rice again. Maybe 2 to the 17.
Ray Rice very deservedly elected to a Pro Bowl berth here in his 2nd year. And man, there is so much to like about this kid, not the least of which, Greg, is his attitude. Sitting down with him, he just loves the game, always has a smile on his face, but he is such a well-rounded, total, complete player. That's what you like to see.
And you get the feel, a steal as a second-round pick.
And a bit of a chip on his shoulder for every team that passed him by.
On 3rd and 2, Flacco outside overthrows Derek Mason.
Well, he had no choice but to overthrow him, because sitting right underneath Powers and Hayden, there was he'd have had to throw some kind of a moonbeam to get it over the underneath coverage. Derek Mason really tortured the Colts in that game that was played in Baltimore back in November, and that time they did everything they could do to take Mason out of it.
TJ Rushing back for the upcoming kick from Sam Cook. Low kick on the run. Rushing to midfield. And a couple of yards into enemy territory. Manning starts from the Baltimore 49-yard line. He is yet to throw in the direction of Reggie Wayne.
Flacco had to start from his own 9. Peyton gets to start from their 49. Big advantage, Colts.
Not much there for a dive. Jarrett Johnson leading the way for the Baltimore defense, which has played very well so far tonight.
I've really been impressed with their coverage. Even when Peyton Manning has completed passes, he's done it to someone who's been pretty well covered, and he's done it by being very precise with his throws.
You got the back now.
Manning has it popped up in the air, and it is grabbed by a dive at the 46-yard line.
Well,
that had disaster written all over
What
it.
a heads-up play by Joseph Adai, who was really aggressive in launching himself into the air to get that deflected ball. There it is, batted up right there by Suggs. He doesn't know where the ball is, and it was really floating directly towards Donnell Ellerbe, and that was some play by a dive.
3rd and 7. Manning steps up, down the sideline for Garcon, incomplete.
And again, there's that coverage we've been talking about. The secondary of the Ravens is playing some football game to this point. That time Frank Walker with really good coverage, and Peyton Manning, that ball was out of bounds. Frank Walker, who's been much criticized but also very much defended by his head coach. He wasn't fooled at all by that out and up by Pierre Garcon, right on his hip.
Chris Carr deep for the punt. We'll let it drop, and it'll roll into the end zone, and that'll give Flacco and the Ravens possession. 11:59 to play here in the first half. You see where these teams have been starting on the average. All things considered, Joe Flacco likes it from his own 20.
Sure does. That's the most room he's had yet.
Flacco fakes the pass, gives to Rice, and Rice up the middle for about 4 to the 24. On 2nd down, Flacco with time, throws, and then hit immediately after the catch at about the 23-yard line is Rice. Philip Wheeler applied the hit, and that lost yardage.
Well, each offense so far has put together one drive, one good drive that ended up with a field goal. But after that, the defenses have taken over this game.
You know, Dan, going back to that battle between Freeney and Gaither, it was interesting. We were talking with Dwight Freeney. He says a lot of people think that bigger is better, and that is often a misconception. Leverage is everything.
Leverage is everything. He said every now and then it turns into wrestling, but by and large, the low man wins.
3rd and 7. Flacco under pressure and gone down. Gary Brackett, the middle linebacker.
Well, look at the looping stunt. Freeney's going to swing all the way around, and Gary Brackett gets to the inside. And then when the offensive line recommits to try to pick up Freeney, he gets a crease, and that crease leads him right to Joe Flacco.
Sam Cook kicking to T.J. Rushing. Much better kick than the last one. Takes him all the way back inside his own 25. Back to the 30. Up the sideline and out of bounds, and here's a penalty marker. Good return by Rushing. Let's see if penalty moves the line of scrimmage back. Our referee tonight is Carl Cheffers.
It's not very often that these penalties go against the kicking team.
There are multiple fouls by the return team on the play. Holding number 23 on the return team. That penalty is declined. Illegal block in the back, number 43 of the return team. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards, timeout.
That's what the Colts have done on their first 3 possessions tonight. After the field goal, a couple of punts, and now Manning and company start from their own 25-yard line. And the rookie Donald Brown in the backfield alongside Peyton Manning. Manning throws. That one is complete. First one of the night to Reggie Wayne. It's enough for a first down out to the 37-yard line.
Well, you know, it's only a matter of time before Reggie Wayne gets into the mix here, and that time being given all sorts of room working against the Baltimore zone. And when he breaks off underneath, he fools everybody.
How about Reggie telling us that it was uncomfortable watching the games last week? It felt like we were out of the playoffs.
He said it almost felt like we were spectators. We missed it.
On the slant. Oh, what a catch made by Reggie Wayne.
Dominique Foxworth, the corner, got to be thinking to himself, what do I have to do to keep a guy from catching a pass? He gets his hands on him. He's right there. And what a snatch. That's all there is to that. What a beautiful set of hands by Reggie Wayne. You know, if he keeps working at it, he might end up being okay.
Three-time Pro Bowler with his first 2 catches of the night. From the 48, here's Donald Brown, and Brown crosses midfield to about the 48.5-yard line of the Ravens.
You know, a lot of questions about what's better. Rested. Do the Colts have a chance of coming out here and being rusty? The way this game has started, they look sharp to me. They're playing good, solid football. It's just that they're playing against a very formidable opponent. I don't think the week off has damaged the Colts in any way. I think it's been a real plus.
On 2nd and 6, Manning throws outside and incomplete. Intended for Wayne. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Now, there was a narrow window there. Again, I am very impressed with the Ravens and their secondary. Greg Madison, their defensive coordinator, has to be pleased with the way these guys are locking down. There's Madison there. The way they're locking down on the Colts receivers. I'm telling you, every time that it's a Colts completion, it's a perfect pass and a heck of a catch.
Manning complete to Dallas Clark, and appears to have enough for the first down. You know, we were talking with Dominique Foxworth about this Colt passing game, and all Dominique said was the Colts passing game is the simplest, most complicated thing there is.
And then he followed it up by saying it's a real challenge to play against the most intelligent quarterback that's ever played the game. How's that for lofty praise?
Colts have yet to visit the red zone. And he didn't get the snap off in time.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That is a real rarity for Peyton Manning. As firmly as he is in control of everything at the line of scrimmage, he wasn't rushed in any way. He had plenty of time, and that is highly unusual to be in that situation and take that 5-yard penalty because you lost track of the clock.
You give it to a dive, and a dive back to the original line of scrimmage. 5 wide receivers on 2nd and 9. And Manning, shortened, complete to a dive, and a dive inside the 35 to about the 32 or 33-yard line. That'll be about a yard short of a first down.
That time the Ravens only came with 3. And Peyton Manning, they dropped into such a deep shell. Peyton got rid of the ball in such a hurry underneath. It's got to be one of those deals where you're still backpedaling and all of a sudden the ball's gone already.
Big Eric Foster comes in now at the fullback position. He's a D lineman in front of Joseph Adai on 3rd and 2. And Adai didn't get it.
He didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Haloti Ngata, all 6'4", 345 pounds of him.
And Haloti Ngata got his first call to be elected to the Pro Bowl, and he just really, he sheds the blocker and gets upfield, but he wasn't alone. There were 3 Baltimore Ravens on the Colts side of the football.
And the Colts are going to go for it here on 4th down. a timeout is called by the Ravens. For the record, the Colts are 5 for 11 converting fourth down attempts this year, and this is a healthy one, 4th and 4. Manning's going to throw it outside here. That is complete and bumped out of bounds. Whoa. Is a dive right at the first down marker by Dannell Ellerbe.
What a hit by Ellerbe. That looked like a dive was going to pick that up easily, and talk about his upfield momentum coming to an abrupt halt. Boy, did Ellerbe put a shot on him that he immediately changed directions.
And we're going to get a measurement for the first down.
When you saw that completion, you're thinking, well, geez, Adai is going to pick this up without much of a sweat.
And he picked it up, but it was a sweat.
It was a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be. Right here when Adai gets the look at that shot from Ellerbe, but that was a good spot by the officials. You could see that the football, at least where the marker was on that side, that's not the official chain. They're on the other side. But it certainly looked like it was a correct spot by the officiating crew.
So the Colts gamble and win their 4th first down of this drive. 4:40 to play in the first half. Adai can't find any running room. Back to the line of scrimmage. Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs in on the stop. Ray Lewis told us having Terrell Suggs in this game, and they didn't have him for the first meeting with Indianapolis, is night and day.
Well, it's night and day in terms of production. It's also night and day in terms of confidence. His nickname is Sizzle, and when he's on the field, he's one of those rare players that makes the guys around him better.
Manning pulls it down, now throwing over the middle, and that's complete to the 20-yard line. Pierre Garçon has a first down.
But we're going to look at this from right behind Peyton Manning. Again, a little pump fake to influence the corner and the safety. But Frank Walker, he's got the coverage on Garçon, and he's just that one step behind him. And that's enough of an opening that Manning can exploit it.
What a terrific job of picking up the blitz by Mike Hart on that last play. First down from the 20. Manning. Outside, complete to Hart. Hart stretching for the marker. He's at the 11.5-yard line.
Well, Mike Hart doesn't get a lot of action being behind both Adai and the #1 draft choice this year, Donald Brown. And he missed most of last year after tearing up a knee. And it's really pleasant to see Mike Hart making a comeback.
I believe that's Mike Hart's first reception of the season. 2nd and 2. Red zone trip for the first time today, and Hart burrows his way to the 10-yard line and appears to have enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, Mike Hart got, you know what, he got rewarded for that blitz pickup. He saves Peyton's bacon, so what's he do? He comes back and throws him the ball, and then he gets him in on the running action, lets him pick up a first down.
Under 2.5 minutes to play. Manning talking to the troops. Play clock down to 5. Manning throwing, far side corner in the end zone, caught, touchdown, Austin Collie.
Well, Jim Caldwell showed that he's got some nerve going for it on the 4th down. Collie gets outside of Dominique Foxworth and gets his feet down, and Peyton Manning again. How good was that throw?
How good was that drive? 8 minutes off the clock, 75 yards. Matt Stover, the ex-Raven, kicks the extra point. And with 2 minutes to play exactly. That drive, in terms of time on the clock, the longest of the year for the Indianapolis Colts. 8 minutes on the nose. Peyton Manning was 8 out of 10 for 72 yards. And of course, they converted that 4th down, 4th and 4, which kept the drive alive. Jalen Parmalee. 4 yards deep in the end zone, going to run it out. Won't reach the 20. Out to about the 19-yard line. Joseph Adai, a couple of moments ago, was ushered to the locker room with an injury to his shoulder. His return, they say, is probable.
All right, let's now see how aggressive Flacco and the Ravens want to be here inside of 2 minutes, trying to get into scoring range.
Rice across the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Remember, Baltimore had to use a timeout when Indianapolis was going to go for it on 4th and 4, so they've only got 2 left.
2nd and 6. Flacco throwing down the sideline. It is incomplete. And Flacco ended up on the ground, courtesy of Dwight Freeney.
Boy, he sure did. There's Dwight Freeney going against Jared Gaither, and there's that spin move, and boy, he comes clean. And Jared Gaither is not the first left tackle that all of a sudden found himself blocking air after Dwight Freeney spun away to the inside.
And despite the hit, how'd you like the arm strength of Joe Flacco? 3rd and 6.
That's never been in doubt.
In and out of the arms of Ray Rice.
And that was a disastrous series for the Ravens, because now 18's going to get the ball. And he's got 2 timeouts and plenty of time.
Joe Flacco started this game 4 for 4, throwing the ball. He is 1 out of 6 since then.
And Ray Rice was too concerned about what he was going to do after the catch.
TJ Rushing stands at his own 34. Rushing from his own 24 to the 35 and dropped at the 36-yard line. Good open field tackle by Tavares Gooden. From the 36 with 2 timeouts, Manning has time and throws. Coming this way is the rookie Brown, and he's out of bounds at about the 44. Stopping the clock with 1:20 to play. 8-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 2.
And that's another thing that Peyton Manning does. He's one of those quarterbacks, when he gets back in the pocket, he chops his feet. They're used to say, well, geez, this guy's got happy feet, which means he's uncomfortable in the pocket. That's not it at all with Manning. That is just the way he works.
Another crossing pattern, and this one is complete across midfield to Dallas Clark. Ellerby makes the stop. Clock is moving, 70 seconds to play. That's 7 different receivers Manning has completed a pass to tonight. Garcon, and he is hit just short, or just at the 40-yard line, and a timeout stops the clock. Colts have moved from their own 34 to the Baltimore 40-yard line.
Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator of Baltimore, said it really well. We have 3 days of practice to get ready for this passing game that Manning's been working on for 12 years. It doesn't seem fair.
Hand it off to Donald Brown, and Brown Still on his feet. Still on his feet inside the 30 to the 27-yard line.
Oh, and if it wasn't for Chris Carr hanging on for dear life at the very end, who knows where that might have ended up.
Clock continues to move. 36, 35. Manning throwing for the end zone. It is penalty marker flies.
Oh, Dominique Foxworth. I don't know how you're going to plead that case.
Pass interference, number 24, defense.
Defending Reggie Wayne, and Wayne comes out the winner on this one.
There's Reggie Wayne at the top of your screen. The little stutter fakes the out, and then he's got Foxworth all the way. And Dominique Foxworth, even though he had Ed Reed over the top, just involuntarily reached out and grabbed him. And take a look at that. The most pass interference penalties in the league. And we all know what killers those can be.
Like John Harbaugh, the Baltimore head coach, was talking to us last night about how penalties at key moments have just been killing his team.
Well, what killed his team on this particular instance was a couple of incomplete passes on that last series. There was a 3-and-out, which gave Indianapolis the ball back with all sorts of time and good field position.
Colts have moved 50 yards in 58 seconds. Manning pulls it down, now throws, corner of the end zone, incomplete. Pierre Garçon, the intended receiver.
And Pierre Garçon came open in the back corner, but I just don't, by the time he was running and by the time Manning identified him, I don't think there was enough field left to end up with a completed pass.
Second and 10. 22 seconds to play.
Hey, you got to come to 3. Hey, you got to come to 3. Hey, Elegant, come to 3. Elegant, come to 3.
Manning, end zone, touchdown, Collie.
Oh, we've got a flag, and did he hold on long enough to have possession? Ooh, lots of things to talk about here. Only a 3-man rush by Baltimore.
Ruling on the field is that the pass is incomplete, but personal foul, illegal contact helmet to a defenseless receiver, number 52, defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Where they're going to hit Ray Lewis for a helmet-to-helmet on a defenseless receiver. You could see it wasn't even close to a catch. Collie dropped the ball even before he gets hit by Ray Lewis. But watch Ray Lewis coming in from the right, and he just destroys Austin Collie, helmet to helmet. And again, we're back to just like that interference penalty. John Harbaugh is going, are you kidding me? This team is good enough as it is without setting up and giving them extra plays and extra yardage.
First and goal. Indy.
And they still have a timeout remaining, so they can use the whole field.
Short pop to Dallas Clark, to the 5, to the 4.
Well, Ray Lewis sniffed that out.
And the Colts used their third and final timeout to stop the clock with 9 seconds to play.
That was good identification by Ray Lewis, who had dropped back in coverage. And he came up and made the tackle on Dallas Clark. You can see he starts out all the way back in the end zone, but look at how quickly he identifies it, comes up, and makes a sure tackle.
His 14th season out of Miami.
How about the draft that the Ravens had in 1996? They had 2 #1 picks. They draft Ray Lewis and Jonathan Ogden. 2 Hall of Fame football players. That'll, if you're the personnel guy, that'll get you a raise, Ozzie Newsome.
Peyton Manning is used to scoring points in the last 2 minutes. On second and goal, Manning got rid of it, incomplete. Inside the 5 to Reggie Wayne.
And got leveled from the backside. Oh, and Peyton's pleading for one more.
Wants one more play.
This is Suggs coming around the corner. And you could see he went for the swipe. He didn't realize that Peyton Manning had already thrown the ball. Remember, he knocked it out of the hands of Tom Brady last week. That really broke the dam, set up the Ravens' second touchdown, and got them out to that quick 14-0 lead.
3rd and goal. Play clock down to 2, down to 1, and Manning will take the 5-yard penalty.
A 30-second timeout.
Nope.
Well, this is being super aggressive by the Indianapolis Colts with 7 seconds left on the clock. They have no timeout, so anything that would end up in the field of play, that would be the last play.
Greg Madison, the defensive coordinator.
So you know whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen quickly, and it's going to happen in the end zone where it's a touchdown or nothing.
That timeout called by Baltimore, and now both sides are out of timeouts. Here's Matt Stover in his 20th season.
I think most head coaches in this situation would say, no, let's kick the field goal and put the points on the board, but they don't have a guy with the experience of Peyton Manning back there. This is where the trust factor is very high.
Manning throws. Touchdown. Reggie Wayne.
And I'd say that Reggie Wayne broke the plane by about a foot. What a gamble by the Colts, and boy does it pay off. And John Harbaugh, I think, is asking for a review from upstairs. But look at that, no doubt about it. Reggie Wayne has the football. He has control. He reaches out over the plane. Folks, that is a thing of beauty on a lot of different levels.
Stover's kick is good. 3 seconds to play in the first half. The Colts have scored 14 points in this second quarter, all in the last minute 57 seconds.
For those of you that love this game and have any sense of history at all, appreciate what you're watching every time you get the opportunity to watch Peyton Manning play the position of quarterback.
In this quarter, the Colts have 127 total yards to the Ravens' 9.
Well, isn't one of the great stories the way Garcon and Collie have filled in for the departing Marvin Harrison, who retired, and DeAnthony Gonzalez, who's on injured reserve. It's one of the better stories surrounding the Colts.
Picked up at about the 37-yard line by LaRon McClain, and with that time will expire here in the first half. We come to the end of the first half. 17-3 Colts leading Baltimore. Probably, Dan, the most glaring aspect of this game. The Ravens have not been able to run the football against the Colts tonight the way they have in their last 5 games. They've been running for more than 215 yards a game their last 5 games. And they have 43.
And again, I'm not totally surprised by that, because Indianapolis is rested. They are a good team. Even though, you know, they lost Bob Sanders, Melvin Bullitt has come in and really filled his shoes at the strong safety position. They've been defending the run well. What's really, I think, critical here for the Ravens is how they have caused themselves problems. They only have 3 penalties, but look at those penalties. One was on a kick return that cost them 64 yards. They had an interference penalty, and then they had the hit on Ray Lewis, all of them very costly and led to Indianapolis points.
It'll be interesting to see, too, how patient the offense will be in sticking by their game plan down 17-3 as we get ready for the start of the second half coming your way in high definition.
Well, Greg, you raise a very good point because this Baltimore team is not meant as a come-from-behind team. With that running game being their bread and butter, they are meant to have the lead or to be in a tight ball game. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
Jalen Parmalee drops the ball and takes a knee in the end zone. So that means Flacco and company will start from their own 20-yard line. And as I was saying, just 43 yards rushing in the first half. The stats weighing heavily in favor of the Colts.
Well, look at the number of plays that the Colts have run. 42 to only 23 for the Ravens. More explosive plays, everything favoring the Colts. And again, a poorly handled set of downs there inside of 2 minutes by the Ravens that gave the Colts the ball back with plenty of time that led to another touchdown. And now here's where Freeney and Mathis shine.
Flacco for Rice. Rice for a couple to the 22.
Now John Tierlink, the defensive line coach of the Colts, he's one of those guys that is a true believer. There's Big John. You play the run on the way to the quarterback, and when you've got a 14-point lead, that strategy really comes into play.
2nd and 8. And Flacco to throw. Has time, throwing over the middle. Incomplete. Pass intended for Derek Mason.
It looked like Mason initially had the ball. I believe Melvin Bullitt was the Colt that had coverage on him. Mason breaks to the inside against the zone. But Bullitt comes up from the safety spot, and boy, he times out his hit on Mason, gets in there, and he, with his right arm, digs the ball away from Derek Mason. Superb job by Melvin Bullitt.
And Flacco calls a timeout. Baltimore uses its first timeout of the second half. So 3rd and 8, and here is that situation that you talked about, Dan, where the defensive end of the Indianapolis Colts will just pin their ears back on 3rd and long. You look at Flacco's numbers since he started, a perfect 4 for 4. Flacco throws, that is complete to Rice, and Rice has first down yardage and much more. Out of bounds across the 45 to about the 48-yard line.
Boy, how about finishing a run after the catch like Ray Rice, who, watch this, when he goes down the sideline, he's going to be confronted by Jacob Lacey, the rookie corner, and watch Rice attack him. Who's the aggressor here? Ray Rice is the offensive player, and he just attacks his would-be tackler. Boy, that was some piece of work by the second-year kid from Rutgers. Get after it.
Here's Willis McGahee, and we get a penalty marker and a false start.
False start, number 86, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's on Todd Heap, who has been very, very quiet tonight on offense.
Well, there was some, after watching Todd Heap get bent back the way he did last week, he was caught in a really terrible position in the game against the Patriots. I think the Ravens are fortunate that he's even playing tonight.
Todd Heap, number 1 all-time in Ravens history in receptions, touchdowns, and receiving yards. 1st and 15. McGahee. A About back to the original line of scrimmage. Kelvin Hayden, Antoine Bethea coming up from the secondary.
Well, anytime a running back bounces it to the outside and you get them trying to find that edge, the edge on some teams is tougher to find than others. And on a team with speed like the Colts, sometimes that edge never materializes.
McGahee still in the backfield on 2nd and 10. With pump fake over the middle, that's complete. And to the 45 is McGahee. Pick up of 5. Pick up of 7, excuse me. It'll be 3rd and 3.
A nice ball handling that time by Joe Flacco, faking the pump, going deep, and then checking it off and coming back. How's that for a reflective-looking Peyton Manning?
3rd and 3. Flacco's pass tipped at the line of scrimmage.
I don't know. Did Raheem Brock get a hand on that? Again, one of those. Brock is number 79. Yes, he did. Got his right hand up there. Boy, and that's not an accident, folks. He saw Flacco. He was looking right at him, saw him wind up, getting ready to deliver, and that right hand shot right up in the air.
Sam Cook will kick it away to T.J. Rushing. Fair catch called for, and it's going to bounce and stay inside the 10-yard line and down at the 7. Donald Brown in the backfield with Manning. He gets the play fake. Manning out of his own end zone to Brown. Brown across the 10 to about the 14-yard line.
Well, this was at the conclusion of the last series the Ravens ran, and that's Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator there on the right, and he and Joe Flacco are trying to figure out what they can do to get this offense moving. It's had the one really good drive that resulted in a field goal, and other than that has sputtered the rest of the evening.
On the slant, Reggie Wayne met at about the 19-yard line.
Look at that identification by Peyton Manning. He sees the blitz coming from Chris Carr and immediately goes right to the area voided by the blitzer. Now Ray Lewis is coming over to compensate. Foxworth closes in a hurry, but still Reggie Wayne takes a pinpoint pass, takes a big hit, and holds on and moves the chains.
Here's the blitz. And Manning goes down at the 10-yard line. Haloti Ngata.
And that might have been the smartest thing Peyton Manning has ever done. You don't run the risk of taking a hit from Haloti Ngata. Ngata gets inside. That man is his own zip code.
Manning pumps down the field for Collie. Off the fingertips, incomplete.
Ooh, Peyton knows that was so close. That was so close. Ngata's probably going, man, I would have really liked to have gotten a hit on him. This guy's going to the Pro Bowl. He gets in, runs a little offense for the Ravens. John Harbaugh telling us he thinks he could have been another Larry Allen, a Pro Bowl guard.
3rd and 19. Colts need the 29-yard line for a first down. Manning stepping out of trouble, looking, fires a bullet far side of the field, incomplete. Garcon, the intended receiver.
Well, Peyton Manning buys himself all sorts of time, and it's tough to find fault with that. And I don't know, Pierre Garcon had it. I don't know if it was the fact that his leg was in an awkward position that took his attention away from securing the ball, but Number 18 couldn't have delivered it much better than that, and that would have been for a first down.
And it seems like for the first time in a long time, the Ravens have a shot at some decent field position. Terrific kick by McAfee. Carr nailed at his 34-yard line by Cody Glenn, the rookie linebacker out of Nebraska. At their own 34-yard line, as Peyton Manning looks on, the Baltimore Ravens have the best starting field position of the night. They have had one first down since their opening drive. The give is to Ray Rice. Rice across the 40, out to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 9, and it'll be 2nd and 1.
Well, that was a nice job there by the Ravens, going unbalanced to the left and then coming back to the right. And look at that, only 120 yards difference there between what he did last week. Of course, you're always off to a decent start when the very first play of the game you take it 83 yards for a touchdown. That helps the old average.
McClain. And we'll see where they mark this. It appears to be right at the first down marker at the 44-yard line.
You needed less than a yard to pick up that first down.
And we're going to measure. You know, we saw an animated Joe Flacco on the sideline, Dan, which is unusual in itself because he really does have a solid exterior. And he said he was perfectly fine with his 34 yards throwing last week because he won. However, if they're behind, you'd think he wants a little more success throwing the football tonight.
And he's capable of it. He doesn't, you know, Derek Mason is Derek Mason. He's been so good in this league for so long, you know, 13 years, and he had 73 receptions on the season. After that, at the wide receiver position, the Ravens don't have anybody that scares anybody. You know, next you got to get down to Todd Heap if you're going downfield, and there's a reason why Ray Rice was the team's leading receiver. They're not a very explosive game, a passing game, and when you're trailing by 2 touchdowns, that can be a real crisis point.
3rd and inches. We'll pitch it to Rice, and we get a whistle.
Well, I thought I saw movement by Jared Gaither on the left side. That's got to be a false start. He rocked back in his stance.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
It is on Gaither.
This is Gaither. He's right. You saw that flinch right there. He was going to try to go laterally down the line to make a cutoff block. And man, John Harbaugh is going, nothing is going right. And again, Greg, he talked to us. He said, you know, we do the hard things really well, but the penalties and the dumb stuff just haunts us.
Now Flacco looking at a 3rd and 6. Throwing, and across the 45 to about the 48-yard line, Todd Heap makes the catch for the first down. Heap, a 2-time Pro Bowler. Hard to believe he's been around for 9 years.
There's Michael Orr, who's playing a pretty darn good game at right tackle. This kid is going to be special. I think he's got everything to be a multi-Pro Bowl tackle. The tools are all there, the attitude, he's got it all.
Here's Ray Rice. And another marker flies on the far side of the field. And it's going to go against the Ravens.
Holding, number 71, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It has not been a great second half so far for Jared Gaither.
No, this time he's working on Dwight Freeney, and he's fooled by Freeney going to the inside. You know, Freeney, you know, it takes a defensive end with a lot of confidence to line that far outside somebody and then take an inside move. And that's what Freeney did, and it totally fooled and surprised Gaither.
So now the line of scrimmage all the way back to the 38. It's a 1st and 20. Right to the 43. Daniel Muir with the stop. And we are under 7.5 minutes to play for the third quarter.
Well, there is so much pressure right now on the Ravens offense to do something. To just eat up some time, get into Indianapolis territory, do anything at all. You know, obviously points are what you're looking for, but just show some sense of having some sort of continuity and being able to put together drives that move the chains and get some first downs.
Rice with running room, midfield to the 45. Raheem Brock, Gary Brackett combined for the stop.
Well, when Ray Rice gets out in space, you can really see how he's got the tools that make him special. Look how low, you know, he talked to us about one of the things he admired about Emmitt Smith was the fact that he ran underneath his pads. You know, in other words, that's again back to the leverage you talked about earlier that Freeney was talking about. Ray Rice, a big fan of a back that can do that.
3rd and 3. Flacco pulls it down, looks the other way, and now rolling. Looking, throwing, far side of the field, it is incomplete. Intended for Rice, Gary Brackett. The two Rutgers grads had it.
And Gary Brackett comes up with an all-star play. Joe Flacco did everything he could do to buy himself some time. Look at his line, giving him all sorts of time. That time Gaither stays with Freeney, but that time Gary Brackett got away with one of those situations where he wasn't playing the football at all, only the receiver.
And here go the Ravens on 4th and 3, and they're going to go for it. Flacco throws this side off the hands of Demetrius Williams. Now the Raven defense has to look at Peyton Manning starting from his own 45. Donald Brown in the backfield, play fake to him. Manning going to go deep on the side, picked off. Intercepted by Ed Reed. Ed Reed back down the sideline, loose football, and reclaimed by the Indianapolis Colts, Dallas Clark.
Garcon knocked it out. Pierre Garcon with unbelievable hustle. He was the intended receiver, and he chased Ed Reed for 30 or 40 yards. Watch Garcon, number 85. Ed Reed flashes in. Now watch Garcon take off after Ed Reed. Here he comes, and he just comes up, knocks the ball out. What a sensational hustle play by Pierre Garcon. And wouldn't you know it, it just one-hops right to Dallas Clark.
Ed Reed's 7th interception in 7 career playoff games for naught. Manning gives to Brown. Brown knocked down at his own 25-yard line by Dominique Foxworth.
What is it about Ed Reed and the football? I mean, you got to give him the praise for making the interception. Nobody has had more interceptions in this league since when Ed came into the league in 2002.
Joseph Adai is back on the field, Dan, for the first time since he left the game with a shoulder injury in the first half. Second and 13, Manning throws, Collie catches, out to about the 39-yard line, and a first down.
And Peyton gets buried just as he is throwing that football. Dewan Edwards just lowers it on Manning, but still Peyton, look at that. He was able to get enough on it. And this line and these backs do such a good job of protecting Manning. You don't see that all that often. But he can stand in there and take it. He knew that was coming.
Manning now 24 of 36 for 206 yards. And a whistle on the field.
Second charge timeout, Baltimore.
And a timeout called by Baltimore, I believe. back at Lucas Oil Stadium. Manning and the Colts. First down at their own 39. A dive. Back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, as we've talked about so many times before, Peyton Manning is an equal opportunity thrower of the football. He gets everybody involved. If it's your turn in the barrel, you're getting the football. Rookie or 10-year veteran, it makes no difference.
On 2nd and 10, Manning with time throws this side of the field, and that is caught by Reggie Wayne at about the 45.
Well, there's a guy who's had his turn in the barrel lots over the years.
Had dinner with his good friend Ed Reed.
Yeah, they were roommates at the University of Miami, and when the Ravens got into town last evening, Ed and Reggie went out and had dinner, caught up on old times. I wonder who picked up the check.
On 3rd and 4, Manning up the seam, intercepted. Penalty marker flies. This is Reed again, and Reed back to the 30, to the 25, and knocked out of bounds at about the 10. Let's check the flag, and it looks like it may be coming back.
Well, when you see the official walking back to the flag,
pass interference, number 35, defense, automatic, first down.
The penalty is on Corey Ivy. You just saw John Harbaugh say, unbelievable.
well, because his team has been self-destructing in the penalty department all night long. Let's check out number 30. Well, there he is right there. You can see that he's up underneath the arms of Dallas Clark, riding him backwards well before the ball got there. Pretty easy call.
Wipes out a 54-yard return by Ed Reed.
And remember what they have wiped out in the first quarter, a 64-yard kickoff return. They've been sacrificing some huge chunks of yardage tonight to penalties.
Manning gives to a dive. A dive. Out of bounds at about the 33.
And John Harbaugh over on the Ravens sideline he's just apoplectic. He can't believe this. Everything seems to be going wrong for his team, and you know, it is so hard to beat a quality opponent here in the divisional round of the playoffs. You know, both teams are good teams, but you just can't play the other team and play yourself, play your own stupidity at the same time.
Die again to the 31. The Colts have beaten the Ravens 7 consecutive times.
There's Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, the only offensive coordinator Peyton Manning has known.
Manning throwing to the 20-yard line, making the catch is Reggie Wayne.
You hear about running a quarterback-friendly route, and that's what Reggie Wayne did right there, coming back to the quarterback, making yourself a target. But then again, when the ball is thrown to such a pinpoint place as that, that's just, how do you defend that? It can't be done.
Mike Hart now into the Indianapolis backfield.
Hart had a good series in the first half. Blitz pickup, a reception, and a run.
Manning going for the end zone. It is overthrown, incomplete, intended for Collie, covered by Chris Carr.
Chris Carr has played a pretty good game. And again, this secondary of the Ravens, especially in the first half, they were all over the Colts receivers. And this was a secondary that, especially early on in the year, was making a lot of mistakes. People were gashing the Ravens secondary for big chunks of yardage.
That's complete to Wayne inside the 15-yard line.
Now Dominic Foxworth again. He's got the man coverage on Reggie Wayne. But Wayne breaks it off, and when you got a clearing pattern being run, you know, Colley's running deep, clearing it, which means that Foxworth has to cover a lot of ground to come all the way inside to try to defend that slant pattern.
2 previous red zone trips, 2 touchdowns for the Colts. 3rd and 4 from the 14. Manning throws to the 10. Dallas Clark just inside the 10, and that looks like it'll be good enough for a 1st and goal as time runs down on us here in the 3rd quarter. We've played 3 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Welcome back to Indianapolis for the start of the 4th quarter. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, our producer Mark Wolf, our director Bob Fishman, and the rest of our terrific CBS Sports crew. 17-3 Colts, as you see on this drive. 4 on the ground, 6 through the air. And 1st and goal from the 9. 11th play of this drive, approaching 6 minutes in duration. Manning for the rookie Brown, and Brown is tripped up. That'll lose yardage back to the 12. Corey Ivy coming up to make the stop.
And the Colts tonight have had a fair number of negative runs, a lot of them on 1st down. I know that that's not making Tom Moore and Jim Caldwell very happy.
This Baltimore defense allowed New England 196 total yards last week. Today, Indy has piled up over 260. Manning being chased and slides down at the 16.
And there's another negative play. So a negative run on 1st down. He loses yardage on that, so that'll go down as a sack.
Jarrett Johnson giving chase.
And Peyton Manning just playing smart football. There is no upside for number 18, who is not the fleetest of foot, to try to do something courageous with that football.
Manning sacked 10 times this year. That's the 2nd time Baltimore has recorded a sack tonight. 3rd and goal. The 16. Manning throwing, end zone, and overthrows Reggie Wayne.
And that's been a pattern all night for Baltimore. When they've been down in the red zone, they only rush 3 people and drop 8, which means you can pretty much have that whole 2nd level back there in good position. And Dominic Foxworth took away the underneath throw.
And here is Matt Stover, who still lives in the Baltimore area.
Going to be 42 years old in about 10 days.
33 yards out. That kick is perfect. Still plenty of time on the clock for the Baltimore Ravens, but they have to start putting some drives together on offense, Dan.
Well, the Ravens defense, you know, in 9 of their last 11 games, they only gave up 17 points or fewer. They've exceeded that now with 20, but it's that big 3 on the other side. The Ravens offense just hasn't gotten it done.
This is Parmalee, and he'll get to run this one back from his own 3-yard line. Across the 25 and out to about the 28-yard line. Look at the hard-working offensive linemen for the Colts as they take a breather, and Joe Flacco and company from their own 29. Flacco with time, throws for Rice. Rice shakes one tackler out to the 30-yard line. Rice again to the 34. And it'll be a 3rd and 5.
Well, when you look at the Colts defensively tonight, the way they are running, the way they are flowing to the football, the way they're tackling, pretty hard to argue with the strategy employed by Jim Caldwell, Bill Polian, and the group here to rest these guys the last couple weeks. They have been motoring at a high level here tonight.
Flacco throws complete, 45-yard line. That's Kelly Washington. And that'll be a 1st down.
Well, again, Joe had good protection that time. And one of the few times that he's found a receiver that's been fairly wide open. That has been a very infrequent event tonight for Joe Flacco.
Going outside this time, and this is heat to midfield, and not much further. I don't know, Dan, as this postseason began, that there's been a team analyzed and overanalyzed more than the Indianapolis Colts, talking about how they've fared as a #1 seed, how they've fared coming off of the bye week.
Well, the fact is, since Peyton Manning's been the quarterback, they've had the bye 3 different times, and they've lost all three times in their first game in the playoffs, and that sticks with you.
This is Rice. Rice to the 40. Almost broke free. Still on his feet. Loose football. Rolling. Picked up by the Colts. And down at the 20-yard line. Clint Session with the football. The Baltimore Ravens lost 9 fumbles all season long. They have lost 2 tonight. On 1st down, the give is to Mike Hart, who will try the left side. And let's go back to that play.
Well, Greg, let me tell you something. Almost any sport rewards the guy who hustles. And this hit all the way downfield is going to be made by Raheem Brock, a defensive lineman who had hustled all the way downfield. There he comes right there, puts his face mask right on the football. And Joe Flacco saying, hey, Ray, that's okay. But again, hustle plays.
Quick pass here, Garcon out to the 22.
And we're talking about hustle plays. It's fitting that Garcon catches that pass because it was his hustle play earlier when he knocked the ball loose from Ed Reed after he intercepted Peyton Manning. The Colts have been flying around this field tonight. They have been hustling. I'm not saying the Ravens haven't been, but the Colts have been making hustle plays, and some of their hustle plays have been big plays.
3rd and 8. Can Baltimore's defense come up with a 3 and out? The give is to Hart. To the 25. Terrell Suggs makes the stop, and that'll bring the punting unit on.
Well, that was conservative by the Colts, but with a 17-point lead, they're going to let their defense go to work again, and I can't imagine how frustrated this entire Ravens team is over on their sideline. You get in this position and you've worked so hard to get here, and then you just self-destruct.
Chris Carr is beat. Fair catch called for. What a kick. Flacco to pitch for Ray Rice. Rice cuts it back out to about the 25-yard line where Robert Mathis makes the stop. And Dan, it's time to start giving this Colt defense a little credit. This is a Baltimore team that averaged almost 25.5 points a game during the regular season. Put 33 on the board last week. 3 tonight.
And the Colts have just barely moved over the 200-yard mark in total offense, 212 yards. Only 8 first downs, though, while the The Ravens have 8 first downs while the Colts have 22.
Flacco pulls it down, throws, incomplete, batted away. Intended for Mark Clayton. Jacob Lacey, the rookie out of Oklahoma State, made the play. And Joe Flacco is going to have to start making some things happen soon. 8:16 to play in the fourth quarter.
Well, the Colts hit a home run with a couple of rookie corners. Lacey, who we just saw make that play, a free agent. Gerard Powers, who started the entire season over on the other side, a third rounder. Lacey, a free agent. He started 9 games because of all the injuries they've had at corner. Marlon Jackson ends up on IR. Kelvin Hayden missed 7 games. And a lot of youth here.
Flacco throws in and out of the hands of Kelly Washington. It would have been enough for a first down.
And what a throw by Joe Flacco, taking one right in the chops as he threw it. Joe Flacco under pressure. He has to throw it early. The ball's in the air by the time Washington makes his break. Yeah, it's a little behind him, but Joe, he couldn't step into it. He didn't take a big hit, but he couldn't step into it. But that ball was very catchable.
Cook with a high floater, rushing. Hit as soon as he made the catch at the 25-yard line. Welcome back to Indianapolis. The clock slowly becoming an enemy of the Baltimore Ravens. 8:02 to play in the fourth quarter. First down for Manning and the Colts from their own 26. The rookie Donald Brown is in the backfield. And the give is to Brown, and Brown not much there. And
just one Baltimore mistake after another.
Reggie Wayne with the catch. Just short of the 35-yard line.
And Reggie Wayne tonight has been just doing a Dante Lavelli and his glue fingers. Look at that. Look, that ball hits his hands. It never even quivers. Talk about showing and demonstrating possession of the football. That thing hits his hands and doesn't even vibrate. It didn't even vibrate like a tuning fork. Nothing.
8 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown for Wayne tonight. 3rd and 1. Manning will throw for it, and that is incomplete.
Well, that was, I know, extremely disappointed to have 3rd and a yard, and that's a timing pattern all the way. That's where Peyton throws the ball before Collie even makes his turn around the corner. That's an all or nothing deal, and very fortunate for Baltimore. They're going to get the ball back here after a 3 and out.
You know, it's what makes him such a great football player, but unless Peyton Manning gets the ball into the end zone, he's not happy.
No, and he never will be.
Chris Carr buried as he makes the catch at his own 22-yard line. Flacco throws. Coming across the middle of the field is Todd Heap. And he has enough for the first down. And on the sideline, Peyton Manning having a conversation with Austin Collie.
Well, they took a chance going for it on 3rd and 1. You know, the safe, you're protecting the lead. The safe calls to try to run for it. You know, you'll keep the clock moving. You know, it's a much higher percentage play. They went, that's what makes the Colts the Colts. But when it doesn't work, it looks bad.
Flacco on first down. Throws out here to the near side. Shaking a tackler is Demetrius Williams, and he's out of bounds, and that's another Baltimore first down. 5:52 to play here in the fourth.
Well, back-to-back plays here. We've seen more life out of the Ravens offense than we've seen in quite some time.
Baltimore had 5 first downs on their first drive of the game. That is their 5th since then. Rice. Midfield. Still feet. Out of bounds inside the 40.
Man, I love the way Ray Rice puts his hand on the ground, that low center of gravity, and keeps himself upright and keeps himself in play. Get used to watching Ray Rice make plays, folks. He's going to be around a long, long time. What an upside. He's just getting better every time he plays.
Ravens on the move, coming up on 5 minutes to play. Flacco overthrows Heath coming to the near sideline. That'll stop the clock with 5:03 to go.
Well, again, as crazy as it sounds, because they haven't done that much. If by chance they could get a touchdown and get it to a 2-possession game, at least they've got some life. There'd be a reason to at least be interested if you're a Ravens fan.
Flacco pumps and going to go deep and has a man open, and it is picked off inside the 5-yard line by Antoine Bethea.
Oh, and Antoine Bethea landed awfully hard. And I don't know if he hurt himself. He landed right on his backside without the ability to protect himself because he had both hands on the ball.
They'll tend to number 41 as we take a timeout with 4:53 to play.
Welcome back to Indianapolis, everybody. After a great double move, Derek Mason had a touchdown, but the ball's underthrown. Antoine Bethea, he comes down, lands hard, but he's able to make a play on the ball because it's underthrown.
4:53 to play in the fourth quarter. Greg Gumbel, Dan Deerdorf, 20-3, Indianapolis with the ball and the lead. And looking to host the AFC Championship game next week against the winner of tomorrow's New York Jets San Diego Chargers game here on CBS.
Well, we saw a game that was really close for a lot of the first half. It was a 3-3 ball game. And then it really got broken open with a pair of Indianapolis touchdowns. Austin Collie with a 10-yard touchdown catch. Then Reggie Wayne with a 4-yard touchdown reception that ended the first half. And the Colts at that point really broke the game open.
On 2nd and 7, the game is to Hart. You know, thinking back to what John Harbaugh said last night. He said, if we're +1 or 2 in the turnover department, if we stop them in the red zone, if we score touchdowns in the red zone, we can win. None of that has happened for the Ravens tonight.
None of that has happened. And the Colts are on the verge of getting a pretty sizable monkey off their back, because the last time the Colts won a playoff game, you know when it was, Greg? It was the Super Bowl.
It's been a while.
It was the Super Bowl when they beat the Bears. The last 2 times in the playoffs, they were eliminated by the Chargers.
3rd and 5, and this is Brown, and he's going to be taken down at the 5-yard line by Donnell Ellerby. And Baltimore has used its 3rd and final timeout.
Well, it's a good use of a timeout, because the Colts would have burned off 40 seconds before they snapped the ball for a punt.
And Carl Cheffers has just asked them to reset the game clock to 3:17. And I believe he's reminding John Harbaugh, you have no more timeouts. This is especially disappointing to a Baltimore team that played so well at New England last week. Coach Harbaugh said, we were perfection for a quarter. That was then. This is now.
Yes, that was then.
McAfee gets it away. Fair catch called for and made by Carr at his own 43-yard line.
Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong for the Baltimore Ravens.
Flacco being blitzed, throws, and that's complete. inside the Indianapolis 35 to Derek Mason. 3 minutes to play.
Of course, Baltimore, they only have a minute to go. They can't challenge anything because they've got no timeout. So no matter how blatant something might be, it's going to stand. That's the least of their problems at this point.
This is Heap. And Heap inside the 30 to about the 27, and that's a first down. Clock continues to move as we come up on 2.5 to play.
And this is just offensive pride here. You'd like to get in the end zone just to say you did it.
Flacco, the short pass, that's going to get nothing.
And I think that, you know, is the glass half empty or half full? I think we just have to give all sorts of credit to the Baltimore, I mean to the Colts and the way they have pursued defensively, the way they have hit.
2 minutes to play in Indianapolis. Baltimore with the ball at the Indianapolis 27-yard line. The Ravens are out of timeouts. Flacco for Rice. Rice still on his feet inside the 25 to about the 24. Penalty markers fly. Flacco on the move and got rid of it.
You're right about when you talk about the red hot Chargers, what they've won 11 in a row.
Offside, number 68, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Eric Foster guilty of the penalty.
Take a look at that right there. Incredible. San Diego started at 2-3 and then notched 11 straight. Norv Turner really
I guess he
coming
can coach,
out of that. Yeah,
I guess he can coach after all.
I was going to say he was on the ropes there after that 2-3 start. And of course, Rex Ryan says that the Jets are the favorite in the entire tournament.
That's tall order for
you know what?
Rex's Jets tomorrow.
Rex, a very tall order, but I like Rex. Let him talk.
Flacco throws off the hands of Todd Heap at the 15-yard line.
Isn't that kind of emblematic of what's been going on here all evening? Todd Heap, who's a Pro Bowl player. That ball looked like it got deflected, just grazed a little bit, but still no reason for Heap not to catch that.
John Harbaugh in his second season as head coach of the Ravens.
When you're the underdog, 5 drop passes just get added to the laundry list of mistakes the Ravens have made this evening.
4th and 2, no rush to speak of whatsoever. Diving interception is made by number 25, Gerard Powers, the rookie.
And it just bounces right off Ray Rice's hands. And look at that, Gary Brackett, his fellow Rutgers alum, comes over and says, hey, that's all right. A little high, but still catchable. I'm sure Joe wishes he'd have thrown it down a little bit. It just sails on him. Ray Rice, not the tallest of guys. Nice job by Powers of going down there and digging it out.
The 4th Baltimore turnover of the night. That won't win you any playoff games.
No. And Indianapolis now can just kneel on the ball, and Jim Caldwell
going down, guys. They're going down.
Can put everything to rest about the New York Jets game is now finally totally in the rearview mirror. Non-issue, non-story. Resting worked.
These final 50 seconds wind down here in Indianapolis.
Now the interesting thing is who's coming to town, the Jets or the Chargers. And if it's the Chargers, a team that is historically matched up very, very well with the Colts.
That'll be the last play of the night, the last of the season for the Baltimore Ravens. Peyton Manning and the Colts a winner Baltimore's season comes to an end at 10-8.